Hello there, and a very good Monday afternoon to you. Forget all that nonsense. That was last week. This is this week. Happy Moon Day, friends. Yes, that's what he said, Moon Day. Even though... Yes, we're on the air. We are on the air. Welcome along, friends. As I was saying, it is Moon Day. It is Moon Day, July the 20th, 2026. National Moon Day at that. The anniversary of the moon landing all those years ago, back in 1969. Remember the one small step, one giant leap? That day, yes. That's what we celebrate today on the calendar. So happy Monday and welcome along to the Daily Crack with me, Sean G. Imagine the genius of a nation landing a man on the moon before the Russians. It was quite the spectacle. Yeah, things have gone a little bit downhill since then, yeah. Yeah, the greatness and all of the rest of it. But anyway, welcome along, friends. We hope you're well. We hope you had a wonderful weekend. Hope you can stay with us for the hour. As it says, the Daily Crack with me, Sean G. Little program that we'll be doing now. Our new schedule, we got it today. Monday, Wednesday and Fridays. 3 o'clock hour, bring you up to speed on all that you need to know, all that's happening here in Mother Ireland, keeping you connected with the stories that matter, the headlines, the chitter-chatter of the nation, most importantly, and the lighter side of the news. All that and lots more too. We'll even bring you the weather. dailycrack.com, check it out. We have a brand new website there as well, which keeps you connected even when we're not here. So there you go. You can find out what's happening, all the latest happenings, the headlines, the stories behind the headlines. You can click on the daily papers and actually look at the front pages of all of our national papers. You can also listen to what it says in the papers by clicking on the link Listen. Lots of interesting stuff there. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well. It's the companion website to this broadcast. And, of course, also a link to this program as a podcast and all previous episodes as well. So if you can't listen live, you can always stop by the website there and listen later on. Take us with you when you're on the go, out for a run, whatever it is you're at. So welcome along, and hopefully you'll stay with us now for the hour. The weather's not our happy place today. The sun is gone. The sky is not blue. And it's very cloudy. It's overcast, and it's almost, it looks like it's going to rain. In fact, it has been raining a wee bit here in the west earlier on this morning, but it's a dreary old day, to be honest. And some people are complaining about the cold. Some people are complaining about the weather today, and they're the very same people that were complaining about the heat last week. What are the chances of that? But there you go. We hope this cloudy spell is just short-lived and we'll be back to the heat wave. But I don't know. I think it's hard to... I don't think anybody really knows. But anyway, we had a wonderful spell of lovely summer weather, and we cannot be complaining this year. Although we will be. But anyway, after a glorious stretch, of course, of warm weather and sunny weather, it appears the return of wet and cloudy conditions is on the horizon. Sadly, it is, friends. Ireland, we just missed out on matching a long-standing heatwave record this weekend, as temperatures fell just shy of the 25 degrees in some parts of the country on Saturday. So had we hit the 25 on Saturday, we'd be matching a record that was set way back. When was it set? Met Éireann defines it, as you know, because we tell you all the time here at the programme, the official definition of a heatwave here in this country anyway, 5 or more consecutive days, summer days, above 25 degrees. And the longest heatwave on record for Ireland was 14 days from August the 14th to the 27th, way back in, any idea what year that might be? 1976. So there you go. We fell short of that record by about a day, but there you go. We're not complaining. We had a lovely spell of it. Lovely, the nicest weather I can ever remember, and that makes sense. 1976 was the last time we had weather that long of a spell of warm weather with temperatures above 25, the official definition of a heat wave. So there you go. It's back to the clouds and the rain and all of that stuff this dreary Monday. But there you go. Don't let it get you down. We're here to lift you up. Yes, we are, friends. studio@gir.ie if you like to get in touch with the program. Always good to hear from you. studio@gir.ie. We're streaming on as many as 25 digital platforms. You'll find us on the Global Irish Radio app, and you'll also find us on Alexa. So there you go. Many ways in which to take us with you, and hopefully you do that, and spread the good word as well, and let other people know that they can download the Global Irish Radio app there, the App Store, wherever you get your apps. And one touch listening to the programme, and lots to all the other programmes as well that you can catch here on Global Irish Radio. Great weekend of programmes from all around across the globe, that kind of thing. And thanks to Jerry Byrne for the past 2 hours from irishradio.org. So there you go. Boy, what a weekend. There was something for everybody, I think you'll agree, this weekend here in this country of ours. Country music at Slane Castle. Luke Combs there, drawing over 160,000 people. Their the cowboy boots not covered in mud this year for a change, and no need to bring the wellies. So there you go, a lot of happy people at Slane Castle for the country music concerts that took place this year. First time there's been concerts there since, I think, maybe 2023, if I'm not mistaken. And Harry Styles took his concert, or his love show there, his love tour back in 2023. For the hippies, we had the International Arts Festival in Galway. That's still going on. Yes, it is. And they've been blessed with the weather all last week. This week probably it'll be okay as well. But as I was telling you, they do build in a couple of extra days for the Irish weather. So maybe they'll need to cash in one of those days this week. There might be a rain day. We don't know. But then next week we have the Galway races starting next Monday the 27th. So lots of good things happening in Galway both this weekend, all this week, and next as well. For pilgrims, it was the 50th anniversary of Knock Basilica, so thousands of pilgrims made their way over there to mark the occasion, of course. And what else? Oh, sport. Well, of course, sports. It really was a sports lovers weekend. That's where it was at this weekend. And if you're a sports fan, well, you must be feeling on top of the world today. Whether your team lost or whether they won, you should still be feeling good. According to Luke O'Neill, at least, because being a sports fan is good for your health. We told you all about that on the programme last week as well. And that dates back to our tribal instincts and us being youngsters growing up in Africa thousands and thousands of years, where belonging to a tribe gave us a sense of purpose and meaning, all of that. Well, that's the same feelings or the same needs that are satisfied by being a sports fan. And there are highs and lows, and it doesn't matter if your team lost, because that builds resilience, and it also that shared loss, and that's all, again, it's good for your health. At least that's what the professor said. Luke O'Neill, professor of whatever it is, microbiochemistry or something at Trinity College. So being a sports fan it turns out good for you. It was an action-packed weekend, and probably good reason why, maybe or bad reason that the GAA tampered with the original or the traditional schedule of the games, because traditionally you had All-Ireland hurling finals in September, the first week of September, and the football final the third week of September. They tampered with that, they messed around with it, and now they're in July, and they're squeezing it in when there's a lot of other things happening. And it just so happened this past weekend, it was just jam-packed. I mean, there was, there wasn't time to eat. There was so much sports, and it was all, from 8 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, right through until the wee hours last night. It was nothing but non-stop sporting action. So it truly was a sports lovers weekend. You had, of course, the All-Ireland hurling final yesterday. Big game, big build up to that game. Up for the match, of course, on Saturday night. World Cup final last night. Wonderful spectacle. The most watched television event, I think, in history. About 1 in 5 people on the planet were watching the World Cup, or so they were expecting last night. So that was a big sporting event, obviously. Goes without saying. We'll talk a little bit more about that maybe in a minute or two. What else? The rugby. There was rugby happening this weekend as well. You might have known it, but there was. You had Ireland taking on the All Blacks, England taking on Argentina. They may not have been able to beat Argentina in the soccer last week, but they were able to get the better of them in the rugby, and that was kind of a anarchy game in itself. And of course, Ireland lost to the All Blacks in that rugby. There was ladies Gaelic football semi-finals were taking place as well. Kind of, got smothered by all the men's stuff in the World Cup. There was golf, of course, teeing off about 8 o'clock on Saturday morning as well. The British Open. New Zealander, Ryan Fox, took the honours there. And in athletics, there was a world record broken on Saturday, believe it or not. But that got smothered as well. So it was just, it was just jam-packed, and some things didn't even get noticed. So, and throwing in the All-Ireland hurling final, of course, much of this country, obviously Limerick and Galway fans weren't looking at anything else other than what their counties were up to. Limerick won, by the way. I'm sure you know that already fairly convincingly. But anyway, we'll come to that. In terms of that, in case that world record in athletics, Josh Kerr is the guy's name, and he has set his sights on claiming mile gold at the Commonwealth Games. Now, despite confessing he need a reset after breaking the world record, the 28-year-old gave himself a day off after beating the world record with a time of 3 minutes 42.66 seconds on Saturday's Diamond League in London. So there, well done to Josh Kerr, making a new record, running the mile in a new record time, 3 minutes and 42.66 seconds. And for his trouble, he's given himself a day off, a well-deserved day off, and a pat on the back, I think, is well due there as well. So as you can see, look at it. It was absolutely jam-packed with sports this past weekend, and everybody flat out. There'll be lots to talk about today when they go to work. They won't get a tap done. As for the World Cup, let's turn our attention to that for a moment. It is very topical this Monday as people look back at the game that was or the game that wasn't. But anyway, Spain the winners, football the losers. That's the headline in today's Irish Times. World Cup final, worst World Cup final of all time. That's the verdict of Ken Early, writing in the Irish Times under that particular headline. And perhaps the football, maybe not the best, but I think the overall World Cup was pretty successful, pretty entertainment. I would say it was one of the better ones. But there you go. I mean, the halftime show, very Americanized, I'll give it that, very Super Bowl kind of show. But, that's what the Americans do. And, when you got 90 minutes of nothing happening on the field, and not the best football, even the experts saying the football, little bit lackluster at the best of times, a little bit boring if you ask me, watching a ball for over and back for 90 minutes. I think you do need a little boost at halftime, and in the form of a halftime show. I think under the official rules they're not supposed to have a break longer than 15 minutes. I could be wrong on that. Fergus would know the answer to that one as our fact checker here on the programme. But they were aiming to do it in about 17 minutes. But when you have to do a production like that, I mean, and you see it at the Super Bowl, all hands on deck, and they're not bound by time rules for that particular one. They wanted to get the whole thing done in about 17 minutes, 11 minutes of entertainment time or performance time, and then the rest of the time, what does that leave them? 6 minutes to put together the stage and all of that, and you think, wow, that's a miracle in itself. But there was great entertainment there, and for the people who spent all that money on those tickets and mightn't even be a sports fan, they certainly had a spectacle at halftime. So I think that I liked it. A lot of the traditionalists and the purists not so much. And I was looking at the journal.ie today. They often run those online polls and stuff like that. And as you know, Spain crowned the world champions after extra time, went into extra time, and then they managed to get that goal. Most people agree, I think, that the best team won. But there you go. In terms of the entertainment and stuff like that, there was big names. They were only on there for a matter of seconds. I mean, Justin Bieber was on there for a minute or two. I missed Madonna. Shakira was there. But overall, I mean, the spectacle of the whole thing, the colour and all of that, the stage, the production, I thought it was outstanding, I'll be honest. That aspect of that's pretty much like the Super Bowl. That's usually all I watch as well, although they're ads, they have the good ads for the Super Bowl. In terms of those hydration breaks, and it's a way for the Americans, I think, to sneak in that extra commercial, because they made billions, they made millions anyway by selling ads during the hydration breaks, the water breaks. And before, when the World Cup was coming to the States, they wanted to cut it down into 4 quarters so they could sell more advertising. So they kind of, through the back door, found a way to do that with these hydration breaks. Whether they'll be there to stay or not remains to be seen, but very lucrative for FIFA through the selling of adverts for those water breaks. But anyway, not everybody, as I was saying, was totally impressed with the halftime show. It ran for about 11 minutes, I think, was what it was supposed to run, but it ran a little bit over in terms of, because putting all of that together is impossible to do, let's face it, in 6 minutes. So I think they were down and out for about 30 minutes. That might be a problem for the players, and keeping them psyched up after, their 45 minutes on the field. They're anxious to get going and back out on there. But, there's an entertainment aspect. As Kevin Egan said, it's not all about the football. There's so much more. There's the passion, there's the showmanship, there's the coming together of nations and people. So with that in mind, I think it's okay. But anyway, not everybody was impressed. Wayne Rooney described the show as crap. Liam Gallagher also appeared to be underwhelmed. The Oasis frontman did say, though, however, that Justin rules. Obviously talking about Justin Bieber there. And then fans of BTS were delighted with the... are they Korean? I don't know. There's a bunch of Koreans or Asian lads dancing around the field there anyway. And their fans, they brought a lot of colour to it that way. And the Muppets, of course. That was probably the best part of the halftime show. But anyway, the Journal asked people about their thoughts as to what they thought. And here's the results of that poll. They asked, what did you think of the World Cup halftime? What were the results? Well, like Wayne Rooney, my favourite part was when it ended. 47%. That's what so almost 50% were not impressed with it at all. It goes to show they're on the in the Wayne Rooney camp, thinking that was crap. They were glad when it was over. They had no interest in it. Other words, absolutely no interest in it whatsoever. The other answer was, the next biggest answer was, they should have let the Muppets do the whole thing. 20% got that. So now you're up to nearly 70%. And in third place, I didn't watch it. A remarkable almost 20%. 19.4% didn't even watch it. The other answers were, I am indifferent about it. I enjoyed it, but it could have been a little bit better. Very few people went for that. A handful, 2 or 3%. And another 2 or 3% went for, I thought it was great. So I thought it was great. I thought that would win hands down, but no, that came in at about 2% as well. So most people, of course, this is Europe, and you know that's when it comes to these kind of things, very, very different. It's more focused on the soccer. The traditionalists and the purists are all about the football and the game and the sideshow. The halftime thing was a bit of a sideshow, and people in this part not impressed. So there you go. Like Wayne Rooney, most people thought it was crap. Will they continue it in future years? Well, should we just have to wait and see? I see the Americans, they want to get it, they're already looking to get it back in 2038 or something like that. And, you know, it's really designed for America in terms of the big sponsors and that's where a lot of the money is. But anyway, for me, it was 90 minutes of nothing, and it needed that halftime boost. I'm sure a lot of people in the stands, well, I don't know, but there you go. Went to extra time, of course, didn't it? I thought it might go to a penalty shootout, but most people, as I said, feel that the best team won. Another thing that they borrow from the Super Bowl this year, the gold rings for the winners. So not sure how people feel about that either, but there you go. Nice little keepsake. And I'm sure the Donald gets one as well for showing up and presenting the medals, all of the rest of it. Argentina and Spain fans, they put their rivalry to one side. They were united in their hatred of the Donald, and there was a bit of booing, or as Donald Trump calls it, cheering. But yeah, there was that going on as well. And I thought the reception, I was watching the players and their interactions with the Donald as they were getting their medals. Most of them kind of like, you know, they were more warm to the FIFA president and the dignitaries either side of Donald Trump than they were with Donald Trump. Most of them just like brushed past him and barely acknowledged him. A handful of them did engage in small conversation, but I didn't think there was a whole lot of warmth there. I'm not sure if you're watching that part of it. I thought it was nice that the Argentinian players and Messi, it was a tough ordeal, obviously, for Messi, probably his last World Cup, to watch on as the Spanish players were getting their medals and stuff. But I thought it was great sportsmanship on his part to stick around and to applaud the team and to wait around for the medals and the presentation of the trophy. They had a bit of a job getting your man the Donald wanted to hang out for the photo shoot with the players, but Infantino grabbed him and pulled him away. But there you go, Justin Bieber on there as well. I thought that fella had retired years ago, but obviously he came out of retirement for the halftime performance there. But that was the World Cup, and is getting a lot of coverage in our papers today. Yes, our papers filled. The papers, looking at all the papers today, it is a sea of red and green. It's a sea of red and green. No, Mayo haven't won the All-Ireland yet. That'll be next week. Next week. The red that I referred to is the Spanish players from the World Cup, obviously, and the green is the Limerick players, the hurling players of Limerick, or as the Irish Daily Star calls them, the Green Giants. Yes. Rightio then, you're listening to the Daily Crack with me, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio. We hope you're well this Monday. We hope you had a wonderful weekend of sport wherever you are. Want to welcome Tommy and Trassa Smith to Ireland. They're here for a few weeks. Tommy Smith, the great commentator with ESPN, and of course they have their show there here on Global Irish Radio Saturday nights. Ireland Calls from New York. They're over for the Galway races and to spend time with family as well. So hopefully they'll get some nice weather for that as well. GlobalIrishRadio.com or GIR.ie. We are the Irish Diaspora Station. We bring you Irish radio programs from Ireland and Irish communities all around the globe. It's what we do. Lots of great programs, so check that out as well. And as we were telling you, download the app if you haven't already done so. In terms of the what the players get, the winning players, the winner of the World Cup will host a... Well, they get to hoist that trophy, which is much coveted. They'll receive championship rings this year for the first time ever, and they'll gain a lifetime of bragging rights, telling people that they were, they've carved, that they've earned their place in history as a World Cup medal winner. So not many people get to do that. It'll also lead to a significant payday. Yes, there's money at stake as well. The World Cup winners earn 51 million. That's what the winning team Spain gets, which is about 44 million euro. Second prize is $34 million, which is just under 30 million euros. And then in third place, and England beat France. That was another thing that was happening over the weekend as well. The third place game, England beating France 6-4. Now that was a game with a lot of action and a lot of goals. You would need a halftime show for that one. But anyway, the goals always add to the occasion, or the sense of occasion, I think. But what would I know? Anyway, the World Cup, the third place, they get, what does they get? They get about 26 million. They get 26 million euro. So still a nice payday for the English players. And as I say, that's the prize money that's handed out. So a lot of things up for grabs, but it's the honour and the passion of representing your country. And it's amazing how these players at that level, still manage to stay. The likes of Messi, who has, but to see the passion and the tears, shedding tears, it's great to see that at that level of the game and at that level of, the earnings level that they're at, that still it's the passion that's driving them, not the money, nothing else. Well, maybe the money to a little bit, to a degree, but the passion that's involved in the World Cup. Kevin Egan is absolutely right. It's so much more than a game of soccer. It's everything to those players. And it was nice to see a few, even though it was a sad occasion for Messi, nice to see that after all these World Cups and all his time playing football, he's still driven by passion and manages to shed a tear or two when he loses on the world stage like that. So that was World Cup 2026. Did you think it was a good one? Most of the people who know something about football say it won't be remembered for long, but probably be remembered for reasons other than the football. But there you go. No matter, Spain are the world champs. dailycrack.com. Again, it's the brand new website that accompanies this show, Daily Crack, the Daily Crack Show. Me, Sean G. We're here with you. We're going to be here with you now Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays for the next few weeks, keeping you connected with Mother Ireland and all the things that are happening over here. And of course, our politicians will be going on their summer holidays. Speaking of politics and all of that good stuff, we'll be talking lots about that, lots of politics in the next edition of the Irish Ranter, which I believe we're going to be taping tonight. So we did one last week, we're doing another one tonight. The Irish Ranter next edition should drop later on tonight. And he gave me the list of things that he wanted to talk about. And do I have them here in front of me? Maybe I can pull them up here. That's the Irish Ranter. Check it out at theirishranter.com. That's where you'll find all previous episodes of The Irish Ranter. And let's see what we're talking about. We're talking about unreported crime by migrants in Irish media. So he reckons the Irish media are underreporting or not reporting crimes committed by migrants. That'll be a rant on the next edition. Solicitors refusing criminal cases. The Dáil closing for summer. He says it's a joke. And the insult, the GAA ticket prices. So he wants to have a rant about that. That's all coming up in the next edition of the Irish Ranter. We should have that out for you later on tonight. There is a link on thedailycrack.com to all of the most listened to podcasts here in Ireland, so check it out, as well as the top 10 countdown, and you can find your favourite. That is thedailycrack.com. And also for Crack USA, we have a section under Crack USA which links you to a lot of the Irish American publications, the Irish Central, the Irish Star in America, the Irish Mirror, all of that nice stuff. So again, check it out at thedailycrack.com. GlobalIrishRadio.com, streaming live 24/7 at GIR.ie or GlobalIrishRadio.com, and as many as 25 digital platforms. We'll take a wee bit of music and we'll take a look at some of the top trending stories this Monday here in Ireland.
In the town a scarf sun was shining in the sky. Willie Clancy played his pipes and the tears welled in my eyes. Many years have passed and gone since the times that we had there, but my heart's tonight in Ireland in the sweet County Clare. My heart's tonight is far away, it's across the rolling sea. In the sweet mill town Malbay, it's there I'd love to be. So long ago, far away, there's nothing can compare. My heart's tonight in Ireland in the sweet County Clare. That August in Kilrush when the rain was lashing down, and our hotel was that hay bar in the outskirts of town. We were all sick and feverish and Dolan had the flu, but Johnny produced some whiskey and the sun came smiling through. My heart's tonight is far away, it's across the rolling sea. In the sweet mill town Malbay, it's there I'd love to be. So long ago, far away, there's nothing can compare. My heart's tonight in Ireland in the sweet County Clare. Those nights of 6 Mile Bridge when the songs and music flowed, and when it came to closing time the lights were turned down low, and the sergeant from Kilkishen he would buy us all one more, and we never left that pub before the clock was striking 4. My heart's tonight is far away, it's across the rolling sea. In the sweet mill town Malbay, it's there I'd love to be. So long ago and far away, there's nothing can compare. My heart's tonight in Ireland in the sweet County Clare. The engine in its time in Liscannor and Kilkee, but best of all was Milltown, the music flowed so free. Willie Clancy and the County Clare forever in your debt, for the sights and sound of yesterday are shining memories yet. My heart's tonight is far away, it's across the rolling sea. In the sweet mill town Malbay, it's there I'd love to be. So long ago and far away, but there's nothing can compare. My heart's tonight in Ireland in the sweet County Clare. Playing the jig of Jimmy Ward in the sweet County Clare.
To Sean G on Global Irish Radio.
Hello, all you Global Irish Radio listeners out there, wherever you may be. It's myself, Finbar, here in beautiful northern Colorado, inviting you along to the Reigal Teigal Celtic Folk Show, streaming here live every Monday and Friday evening at 10 p.m. Irish time, where you're guaranteed to hear some rare old recordings from the old country and beyond. And it's all here on globalirishradio.com, the home of the Reigal Teigal. Listen to the Reigal Teigal on Global Irish Radio.
That's right, friends, the Reigal Teigal right here on Global Irish Radio. Later on tonight, second chance to catch old rare recordings with Finbar. Just before the break, nice piece of music from Don Stiff and the Kilfenora Kelly Band, My Heart's Tonight in Ireland. You're listening to the Daily Crack, coming to you live from Ireland this Monday afternoon. Here with you weekdays, Monday, Wednesday and Fridays now for the foreseeable future, and we hope you'll join us. Spread the good word, dailycrack.com. That's where you'll find us. All right, bring you up to speed, as we say, on all that's going on, and we've gone through the what's making lots of lovely pictures, by the way, in the papers today. Since we were looking there at the papers, lots of pictures, a sea of green and red, as we were saying, the red from the Spanish team and the green from the Limerick lads. Lots of maroon in there as well, and a nice inside section there as well from the GAA on all of the action at Croke Park this past weekend. Up for the match on Saturday night as well. Caught a lot of people by surprise. Some people are a little bit not too happy at the time change there. I was expecting it to be after the news at 9 o'clock, around about 9:30, as is the case in previous years. This year was a little bit different. It came through at 8 o'clock, so before the news, so it was very early indeed, and you could quite easily have missed it, and a lot of people, I think, did, and that seems to be the feeling on social media, at least. And new this year was Dáithí O'Shea, and gone was Des Cahill, and I think that's because, and of course it came to us live from Croke Park this year as opposed to RTE Studios in previous years. Why all the changes, you may be saying? Well, I believe it's because it was outsourced this year. Yep, they subcontracted the Up for the Match programme to an outside crowd and a production company, and part of you'll be seeing more of that with RT as well. They're talking about doing that with the Late Late Show as well, part of their cost-cutting plans for the station. But yeah, that's, I think, in large part why there were changes this year. It was outsourced. Anyway, where were we? We like to keep you connected with all of the big stories. And let's take a look and see what's happening this Monday. What are people talking about? Andy Burnham. Britain's got a new Prime Minister from today. Andy Burnham has made a swathe of promises in his first speech as UK Prime Minister, pledging to bring about the biggest changes in the last 40 years. And he said he will reveal on Tuesday how he's going to give people breathing space with the cost of living. And much like lots of places, there's a cost of living crisis, an affordability crisis in the UK as well. Only thing is, they're not doing quite so well on the growth front either. They have their economy is shrinking ever since Brexit, basically. In the first firm promise of his premiership, Burnham said he would end rough sleeping in our country, and didn't give a timeline for that goal, by the way. He was previously challenged on the issue as the number of people sleeping rough in Manchester increased while he was the mayor there, and he was the mayor up until he stepped down to run for the Parliament and to become Prime Minister there. But he said the role taught him, the role that is being mayor of Manchester, that a national approach is needed. Good answer, Andy. That's a good answer there, yeah. So the pressure will be on to deliver on that front. He said his appointment as Prime Minister will be a circuit breaker for Britain. Some nice buzzwords in there, and he pledged to bring life's essentials back under stronger public control to make them more affordable for the public. So that's Andy Burnham, the new Prime Minister in the UK. He entered number 10 as Prime Minister, and his blah 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 blah. Yeah, as one man comes, another man goes out the other door, or a little bit earlier in the day. Keir Starmer said his goodbyes to all his people and all his guests and all his staff, all surrounded and big smiles and farewells and all the rest of it, and then later on smiling welcomes for the new Prime Minister. So big change there today, starting from today. Andy Burnham, the new British Prime Minister, and of course, as I said, the first Catholic in over 500 years to occupy the office. Tony Blair was a Catholic. Well, he wasn't a Catholic when he became Prime Minister, but he converted to Catholicism at some point, maybe during or after his premiership. And that other clown, Johnson, he was a Catholic that turned to Church of England or some other, probably to become Prime Minister. But anyway, there you go. So that's, and of course they say that this should be really good for Anglo-Irish relations. Keir Starmer reset the relations. Things were kind of frosty up until he came in after the Conservatives. What's his name? The Indian guy. Things weren't too warm. He wanted to send all the Rwandan refugees to Ireland. A little bit of bad blood between the Conservatives and Dublin, but with Keir Starmer there was a reset and things were much better, much rosier in the garden, and relations were warm, and Keir Starmer much more respectful to the Irish, and even had a party at Downing Street for St. Patrick's Day last year. I don't know when the last time that, if ever, that happened, and there was pints of Guinness and good times being had and Irish dancing. It was lovely to see the Irish culture and the celebrations of our national our day, our patron saint, St. Patrick, and our national holiday in Downing Street. So that was down to Keir Starmer, and they say that Andy Burnham has even closer ties to the Irish. So expect good relations for the foreseeable future, at least. Although job security, he may not be around for long. Job security in that particular job, not great. No. They don't last that long. One only lasted, what was it, 90 days or something, Liz Truss. He is the 6th or 7th Prime Minister in 10 years. So ever since Brexit, it's not a job that lasts very long for British Prime Ministers. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Some people think that he may go to the country and seek his own mandate, as did Theresa May and Boris Johnson. Didn't work out so well for Theresa May, but Boris Johnson ended up coming back with a bigger majority. There's no real incentive for Burnham because he already has a huge majority, but it'd be interesting to see what, as I say, interesting times there. And there is that summer by-election as Nigel Farage stepped down last week and is running again to get re-elected. Part of the smoke and mirrors involving Nigel Farage as he runs against Count Benface later this year. So there you go. That's the big story politically this Monday here in Ireland and across the world and across Europe as well. The other big story is the e-scooters, and there's been a lot of talk about these e-scooters. It's been the big story this past week or two, as lots of people talking about how dangerous they are, some wanting them banned outright, some saying they shouldn't be banned, all of the rest of it. So that's getting a lot. It featured a lot in our weekend papers. The number of children admitted to hospital for traumatic brain injuries from e-scooter accidents has risen by 50% in the past year. That's according to the Children's Health Ireland. Before, a year or two ago, if you asked the doctors in the emergency rooms what was the biggest cause or reason for children showing up in the ERs, they would tell you those trampolines that everybody has in their backyards that end up blowing away when you get a storm. One that I had to rescue one myself there a few weeks ago when it got a little bit windy. They tend to blow away if they're not, if they're not tied down. But anyway, they cause a lot of injuries to youngsters as well, broken bones and all the rest of it. But now the big problem is these e-scooters and kids on these e-scooters. A big problem. Earlier this week, Taoiseach Micheál Martin said he is leaning towards a total ban on the vehicles. So, my thought process would be on that, cars are dangerous if you don't use them properly. Bicycles are dangerous if you don't know how to use them. Anything is a weapon or it's dangerous and can cause problems if it is not used properly. And, the scooters are relied upon by a lot of people who do know how to use them as a means of transport. They're a nifty way of getting around. If you look at a lot of, certainly American cities and other cities as well, you can rent a bicycle, you can rent a scooter now. So under the right circumstances and under the right enforcement of regulation governing the scooters, I don't see anything wrong with them. I think it's a bit extreme. You can't ban everything. We have a tendency in this country to ban everything as the easy solution or the lazy approach to it, but I think a better way would be to regulate them a little bit better and to police enforce the regulations, and so that a few bad apples that are not knowing how to use them are breaking the rules, tampering with the speed limits and the ability of these scooters to go faster, they shouldn't be allowed to ruin it for everybody else. That would be my thought process. But anyway, we have an update on it because there's some breaking news on that front today. E-scooters will be banned for anyone under the age of 18 under proposals agreed by the government. That's fresh off the press this Monday afternoon. It was also agreed that that high-vis jackets and helmets will also be mandatory for all e-scooter use. It's amazing to see how liberal the use of these scooters has been up until now, and they can pretty much do anything they want and not subject to really maybe they're subject to the rules of the road, but they certainly don't follow the rules of the road. I notice with cyclists all the time, they have blatant disregard for the rules of the road. They just go through red lights. They should be observing the same rules that we motorists are observing, but they do what they want, and it seems to certainly have been the case with the scooters as well. Anyway, these new changes, this ban for anyone under 18 comes into effect in August. Later this year, legislation will be introduced to treat e-scooters as mechanically propelled vehicles, and there will be a requirement for licensing and registration. So there you go. Excuse me, hard to believe in this country where we love licensing and regulations that they hadn't this in place already. But anyway, so they kind of, caught people by surprise, and they just showed up out of nowhere, didn't they? These scooters, and nobody really knew how to manage them or how to police them or how to enforce the law surrounding them or the rules and regulations. But that certainly seems to be changing now. And as I say, this Monday afternoon, word coming that the plan is now, because most of the fatalities, and there has been a lot of fatalities, a lot of cases, injuries as well, especially involving youngsters under the age of 16 and stuff like that. So a ban coming into effect for For youngsters, anyone under 18 won't be allowed to, under these new proposals, be on a scooter. So it's probably a fair balance, for now at least. We'll see how this story progresses. If you are in Chicago, friends, be sure to check out the paddyfinder.com. Paddy Finder keeps you connected with all that's happening in Irish Chicago. All of the events, there's an event calendar on there. Tom Flannery manages the event calendar there. By the way, Tom will be back later on tonight, with Tom's Irish Radio Show, live from Chicago. Check it out. And Tom's Good Morning Ireland radio show can be heard on Saturdays. But the Paddy calendar is the brainchild of Tom Flannery in Chicago. An events calendar, all the events that are happening. If you're an event planner, you'll want to check it before you decide what date to hold your event, so you don't clash with another event. You know how to, like this weekend in sports here in Ireland, where everything was all on the one weekend, and next week or in a couple of weeks' time there'll be nothing going on. But anyway, there you go. That's the Paddy Finder for keeping you connected with all of the events that's taking place in Chicago and the Windy City, the Irish community there. Another feature of the calendar, or the website, paddyfinder.com, is the Irish obituaries, and that's getting a lot of traffic as well as people check on the obituaries. Irish people love to check who died, and then they like to check the condolences and all of that nice stuff as well. So that's the Paddy calendar out there in Chicago. Check it out if you haven't already done so. Coming up later on tonight, of course, Sounds Irish with David Marks. That programme comes to you from Scotland, Glasgow in Scotland. Great traditional Irish music, new releases, country music and all of that nice stuff. That's 6 to 8. Tom is back at 8 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock another chance to catch the Daily Crack. And 10 o'clock the Raggle Taggle with Finbar is back as well, so watch out for that. And the Ranter should drop around midnight. If it is, it'll be airing midnight here on Global Irish Radio. Just some of the great programmes coming your way this Monday. This is the Daily Crack with me, Sean G. We'll be right back after this.
Global Irish Radio is excited to partner with 950 WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston, to bring you portions of the Irish Hit Parade, providing the soundtrack to your weekend. Join Paul Sullivan on Saturdays 3 to 7 p.m. Irish time and famous Seamus Mulligan on Sundays 7 to 10 p.m. for a feast of Irish music. Streaming live from Boston right here on globalirishradio.com.
Good deeds are great things, and a single good deed can grow into a forest of kindness. At treedeeds.com, you can dedicate a tree in someone's honour and make a lasting impact on the planet. Each tree is deeded and comes with a personalised certificate, perfect for birthdays, holidays, memorials, or just because. Celebrate life, give back to nature, and leave a legacy that grows. Visit treedeeds.com today. That's treedeeds.com. Rooted in Ireland, gifted worldwide. And you're very welcome back. It's the Daily Crack with me, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio, and anytime at thedailycrack.com. Ireland has a new millionaire thanks to the lottery. A lotto player in County Kerry has become Ireland's latest millionaire after winning a life-changing prize at the weekend. The Quick Pick ticket, now worth $1 million, was bought on Thursday for, let's just tell you what the numbers were. 2, 16, 23, 24, 35, 46, and the bonus 40. So if you're sitting on a ticket with those numbers and you're in Kerry, well, congratulations, you're a millionaire. Another millionaire courtesy of our lottery here in Ireland. Now, imagine being the Shinners got caught out bad this week, or last week I should say. Imagine being a Sinn Féin TD and lecturing the EU authorities on not being able to speak their native language, being Irish, in the European Parliament. Well, that's exactly what kind of happened, and one of the TDs, the Sinn Féin TDs, left with egg on her face, to say the least. She was. We have the clip. And it's getting a ton. It's gone viral. Let's put it that way. It's amazing the things that go viral. People and TDs and different people, they'll try all kinds of things to get a clip that'll go viral, and then it's the piece that they least desire to go viral that often will. Because it's real and it's authentic, and that's exactly what happened to Lynn Boylan, who has been she's a new TD, I think, or new MEP. I think maybe I'm wrong on that, but anyway, she was out in the European Parliament and she's been introduced here, and take a listen to it.
Now from the left, Lynn Boylan, Irish Lynn Boylan. Thank you.
Garamalga to Caharlic agus Majin Mai Privara, and it's unfortunate that we can't use our own language in this committee, but I will continue now in English. My first is just, I suppose, a comment.
You can, yeah.
Pardon? We can?
You can.
Ah, okay. Well, we didn't know. Sorry. So
Caught out there, lecturing the EU, the chairman and the group, the people out there, about not being able to speak in Irish, and then they call her bluffing to say, "Oh yes, you can, yeah." Oops. I didn't prepare anything else. You should be able to switch to Irish. The Party of Irish Unity and Irish Language, and most of their TDs can't even speak Irish now, from what I know. And certainly, when you can't speak Irish, you probably shouldn't go take the approach that Lynn Boylan took there. Anyway, she is getting a lot of notoriety out of that clip, I can tell you. Probably she's, in fairness, she's made something happening in the EU interesting, or when's the last time something that happened in the European Parliament went viral? She certainly managed to accomplish that with her little faux pas there. Anyway, what else have we got for you? We have a warning to people who sleep with their cell phones. Are you one of those? We'll tell you all about that coming up in a minute. And a euro coin that you might be sitting on that could be worth a mint. So we'll tell you all about that as well. But this past weekend, Knock Shrine marked the 50th anniversary of its basilica. And there was a day of Thanksgiving there, reflection, celebration, and a lot of pilgrims made their way there. Thousands, in fact, thousands of pilgrims gathered in Knock Shrine on Saturday the 18th for the culmination of the Basilica 50 celebrations is what they're calling it, marking the golden jubilee of the Basilica of Our Lady, Queen of Ireland. So a lot of celebrations there, and it was a day, as I say, of Thanksgiving, and lots of people made the trip there, and lots of coverage on that story as well. Father, what's his name? Richard Gibbons was on hand, and he's been doing a series of videos behind the scenes all week, and going behind the scenes of the Basilica as well, and showing the some of the stuff behind the curtain there, and the electric room and the sound room and all that stuff that you wouldn't normally think about when you go to a basilica or a venue like Knock. But what an amazing accomplishment. And again, that was the genius of Monsignor James Horn. And what a remarkable feat to build and to accomplish the building of that nature way back in 1976. Wonderful basilica, putting Knock on the world stage for holy places to go to pray and stuff like that. Places for pilgrims and from the world over, putting it up there with the likes of Medjugorje and other shrines around the world. But that he was just getting started. For most people, that would be the accomplishment of a lifetime. But for Monsignor James Horn, that was just the beginning. As he once he got that built, he started building an international airport, and we know the story there. He got it done against all the odds, and now Knock International Airport, or Ireland West International Airport as it is called, is a thriving international airport, carrying almost 1 million passengers this year. The goal or the vision of Monsignor James Horn there was once the basilica was built, and the basilica was built around the apparition that happened in whenever it was, Margaret could tell me that, maybe 1879 or something like that, a place for the faithful to come to the site of the apparition. And to get people there, of course, the next logical step was to build an airport, and so that's exactly what he did. And that was the goal of the reasoning behind the building of Knock Airport, which he set about doing and managed to get done. And so nowadays you have the basilica there, and of course you have the international airport as well. So that's the work and the genius of Monsignor James Horn. And when they tell you it can't be done, what did Walt Disney say? If you can dream it, you can build it. Something like that anyway. Since we are talking about aviation and Knock Airport, we have a story. Last week we were telling you about a story, well, it was very topical towards the end of the week. The Aer Lingus proposed cuts as they plan on cutting flight capacity to the United States and other destinations as well, and seeking about 500 job cuts there. But Ryanair had some news this Monday. Ryanair's profits have plummeted 34% in the first 3 months of the financial year after being hit by a combination of soaring fuel costs and lower fares. So that business out in Iran is hurting the airlines big time. And Aer Lingus, Ryanair, even though they've hedged their pricing for a lot of their fuel, it's still causing a problem. So you might be experiencing a fare increase, but don't feel too sorry for them just yet. The airline reported a profit after tax of 538 million for the quarter to the end of June, down from 820 million during the same period last year. So down by about 34%, but I think it's fair to say they're still doing pretty damn good with profits over 500 million. Passenger numbers, however, continue to grow, so Even though the profits may be down, the numbers of people being carried continues to increase. And it continued about 6% to 61.3 million, while revenue increased by 1% to 4.38 billion. So it continues to be a hugely successful aviation story from very humble beginnings, and all under the stewardship of its chief, Mike O'Leary there. So imagine 61.3 million passengers. Ryanair said average fares fell by 6% during the quarter, while operating costs rose 11% to 3.81 billion, and that, one would imagine, is largely due to the rise in fuel costs, that kind of business. dailycrack.com, check it out, friends, and take us with you whenever you can and spread the good word. We keep you connected with Mother Ireland, is what we do. And links to all the major news sites. We have links to the Irish newspapers. We have links to all of the radio stations here in Ireland. Lots of interesting stuff there. Take a visit when you check it out. dailycrack.com. Now, there's check your pockets there now if you have any loose change. Irish residents are being told to keep an eye out for a special euro coin featuring James Joyce. Remember James Joyce, famous literary figure? That if you have the one that there's always one, isn't there? But if you have the right one, it is worth a mint, we're told. A collector recently revealed that the item with the framed Irish author's likeness on it has sold second-hand for about €200. So it's like that cyber currency that the Donald brings out, and for him it spikes, but for everybody else it goes in the toilet. But anyway, they said the value of this particular coin in question has skyrocketed in just 1 week, as it is now worth about 5 times its original price. So it spiked in value over a very short period of time, and you're probably asking, why the hell is that? What's going on there? Irish Silverstack told their 12,600 TikTok followers this is the famous James Joyce coin, and it's famous for let's see what exactly. This is the famous James Joyce coin, and it's famous for those who know about it, but for those who don't, this was released in April 2013, and its pre-sale price for was 46. So I don't know, that doesn't sound right either, but in order to get this commemorative coin, you had to shell out €46 to get a €1 coin. That's not a good investment. That's like buying Trump cyber currency. But anyway, it completely sold out, and within a week it was being sold on the second-hand market for around 200. So it went up in value. So it turns out the 46 was a good investment. The reason for this is not the limited mintage of the 10,000, those 10,000 of them, or the rarity of the coin. It's for another reason completely and utterly different to all of that. It's simply because there was an error made on the design. There's one specific reason the coin is worth loads, and it's down to an error in the words from a quote used in Joyce's novel Ulysses. The expert added, when I say quote, I actually should say misquote, as they've added an extra word in the second sentence, the word that, and it's exactly that little error that drove this coin to increase its value 5 times within a week. So, in other words, the quote and the picture of James Joyce, or the misquoted, we should say, they screwed up. They put an extra word in. There are 2 that's instead of 1. And for that reason, the James Joyce... Isn't it funny, the thing that will affect the value of something? The James Joyce coin, 10,000 of them in circulation, acquired for they're commemorative coins, purchased for 46, worth €1. Well, worth about on the market, because of that mistake, because somebody screwed up, they were €200 thereabouts. So check your pockets. And to a very important story now, or Margaret thinks it's very important anyway, and because she's always telling us here to plug out the plugs, and sometimes we're a little bit dismissive. Guilty of that, and lots of people probably are. But there's a piece in the paper today, so listen up if you're one of those people that cannot let go of the phone. And many of us are like that. And we tend to, plug it in and leave it in all night and just leave it unattended. And sometimes we bring it to bed with us. And that's exactly what happened to this young Irishman. The family of a young Irishman who suffered serious burns after his phone overheated and burned into flames on his bed while he slept have shared their story as a warning to the public. Now, the young man, he's a Galway lad, and he brought the phone to bed with him, basically, and he rolled over. He lay on the bed, and the next thing you know, the phone overheated and essentially exploded and created serious burns and scars on his back, so much so that he's undergoing all kinds of treatment. You know, the brother ran in, they heard the loud bang, and it shouted at him, "Hey, you're on fire!" Not funny at all, but very serious. And they rushed him off to hospital, and of course, burns specialist took care of him, and he's still undergoing treatment. And it only happened last week, but they wanted to get the word out and the experts in the fire department now are weighing in on the whole situation as well. Firefighters from Loughree Fire and Rescue said the incident should have or could have ended a whole lot worse than it could have, and they posted on their social media warning people of the dangers of charging your phone overnight. They said never leave your phone plugged in overnight while you sleep, and because it can overheat, and never bring it into the bed with you, because you could roll over on it like that fella, or even not roll over on top of it. It is prone to overheating and things like that, and if it does, well, you're in a bad situation. And the family of that young man, very, very keen to get the word out in the hopes that it could save other people from the same problems and troubles and experience that he suffered. So watch out for that one. I think we're all fairly guilty of doing that from time to time. And finally, for today, some people have a habit of speaking out of both sides of their mouth, don't they? We all do it, I suppose, from time to time. But what if you had two mouths? Would you be guilty of speaking out of both sides? I don't know. Anyway, there's a fascinating story in the papers today involving a miracle kitten. She has been born with not one nose, but two noses. Some people, I think, round here have two noses, but anyway. This cat was born with two noses and two mouths, believe it or not, and perfectly healthy and all of the rest of it. And she's named after they named her after the Roman god Janus, who is often depicted with two faces. And this cat had a plethora of cats. She had 8 or 9 cats or whatever, but one of them was born with two mouths and two noses. So rather unique, I think you'll agree. There's a picture of the little furry little 4-legged creature and her snout, her nose, two of them, and two mouths. Two, yeah, so there you go. So perfectly healthy, all of the rest of it, called Janus after the goddess or Roman god Janus for that reason. And mother and all of the other kitties are doing real well. But there you go. Metaphorically, we know lots of people with two faces or two noses or two mouths and all the rest of it. But this cat, physically, figuratively speaking, has both of them. So, these things do happen. Friends, that's some of the nonsense, some of the news, some of the stories, some of the chitter-chatter in our papers, in our social media feeds, on our social media feeds, wherever you look this Monday here in Ireland. And you've been listening to The Daily Crack with me, Sean G. And we won't be back tomorrow. We have to go digging for more crack. But we find the best crack, and you'll find the best crack at thedailycrack.com. Check it out if you haven't already done so. Watch out for the Irish Ranter coming later on today if we get round to recording that. Lots to rant about, but for now, from me, Sean G, we're going to let's see if we can find a little bit of music to say goodbye to you this lovely Monday. Great to start the week with you. And an exciting week here in Mayo. I can tell you if it was a contest of who had the most flags, I think Mayo would probably win the All-Ireland, because everywhere I look, and it's nice to see it, there are more flags out this year than I've ever seen before for an All-Ireland. Mayo have been in the All-Ireland since 2021. We have been in it 13 times since 1951, and we haven't won it. Hopes are high, and we have a tall order going up against this Kerry team and the Cliffords and all of the rest of it. But, there's plenty of hype, and there's plenty of, isn't that part of it? Andy Moran's absolutely right. We haven't been there for a while. Let them enjoy it, and that's exactly what people are doing in the county. So lots of Mayo flags everywhere you look, and if you haven't one up already, well, stick one up. There's still time, but they are everywhere, and on that basis, Mayo wins. That's a lot for today. Thank you so much, Sean G, leaving me with the music of Lisa Canny, who is a fine Mayo girl at that, and joining her on this one is Eleanor Shanley. Let him go, let him tarry. We'll see you Wednesday.